On the Fringe with Dan radio style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Yes, meet the potential governor of Canada. When I read it, it cracked me up. We'll show that in a second. I also wanted to remind everybody, music-wise this week, I have such a delight for personally. And I want to say the very, very last song is a super-duper special song for me. We'll see if I can even get through the song without crying. When I was recording it, I was a mess. It was awesome. One of my favorite songs of all time. I'm going to be doing Phil Collins. I also have a little bit of a drum off part in it. It's going to be an extra special show. Actually, I've already recorded everything. I haven't edited it all, but it's ready to go. So hope you guys join me Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern when we do it live. I've got a great little audience. For those of you that are maybe looking for friends in this kind of community, it's actually a really cool place to just hang out. Oftentimes conversations have little to do with what I'm talking about, but a good friend of mine pointed out to me that's like, dude, you bring all these people together, so it's kind of cool. So for anyone out there that's kind of looking for a community, it's actually a really, really fun place. And we do have three moderators, I think, at this point that try to make sure it stays safe and, not horrible. So hopefully join. Again, 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And it's my channel, of course, so a lot of fun. All right, let's get into it. Good stuff to talk about. Good stuff indeed. Oh, that's over here. I did not drag it over yet. Donald Trump says America is going to start building monuments to our great heroes and heroines again. I think that day's coming. He kind of strikes me as somebody that wants a statue of himself made, and it would be worthy, unquestionably. I want to talk about a major wildfire that we got kind of burned out of control. This came up yesterday, and I knew about it yesterday when I started recording, but it sounded like it was just kind of next to a freeway and stuff, and I'm like, some homeless people probably did it. So I didn't make a big deal about it. We had really, really strong winds, at least where I live last night, which tripped me out a little bit. In the middle of the night, I had to take the barbecue cover off because otherwise nature will take it off for me, and I don't know where it's going to go. There is a very serious fire that's happening, and it's threatening actually some really high-value homes too. So we'll keep tabs on what happens, but it's a ways from me. It's about LA's, I don't know, a little over, close to an hour. Well, if you drive, it's like 5 hours. Stupid. Biden said a bunch of dumb stuff. We're going to start with this one. This was just weird because I think he's referring to his filming studio, but he was being honest. I'm not 100% sure what he was being honest about. I don't think it's the White House, but who knows?
And one of the things that's going on here, they just turned off my, I'm going to go on. I lost the electricity here. But anyway, one of the things we found is that, we invented the computer chip, size of the tip of your little finger. And
size doesn't matter, Joe. Size doesn't matter. Don't worry, buddy. They turned off his electricity. Okay, not sure. Whatever. That's cool. And then Biden's talking about how his administration's going to end, and he's hoping that Trump runs with his amazing economy. Well, he doesn't say amazing. I'm totally being hyperbolic, but the fact that he's even crediting himself with a good economy in any way, shape, or form is just bizarre to me. But
next month, my administration will end, and a new administration will begin. Most economists agree the new administration is going to inherit a fairly strong economy, at least at the moment. An economy going through fundamental transformation that's laid out a stronger foundation and a sustainable, broad-based, highly productive growth. That is my profound hope that the new administration will preserve and build on this progress. Next month.
The new administration handed you an amazing economy and you destroyed it. You killed inflation. You did a lot of things. So, we'll clean up the mess you made. That's for sure. And then the economy will get good, not because of the strong economy. Again, this is kind of his standard rhetoric. Like, he wants it to feel, because he knows Trump's going to make the economy good. So he wants to be able to say, it was because of what I did. I handed him a good economy. I don't think so, buddy. I don't think that's how that works. Elon Musk posted this in regards to Tiffany Caban. I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Caban. You got to put the stress in there somewhere, right at the second syllable. Caban. 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 I freaking don't know. Jordan Neely deserved better than the violence of being denied access to stable housing and health care and then dehumanized for it. Jordan Neely deserved better than the systems that allow for and justify extrajudicial white supremacist violence against black people. Well, readers first off wanted to add context to this. They said, as part of the plea agreement with prosecutors after he punched a 67-year-old woman in the street in 2021, Jordan Neely was given free access to stable housing and health care at a treatment facility in the Bronx. He abandoned the facility after 13 days. So they're trying to make this all about the white man went in and tried to just take down a black man that was being loud. No. This was a very troubled individual that punched a woman on the street and was hassling people in the subway. And frankly, that's not okay. Sorry, if you guys don't realize that, that's unfortunate. And you guys, to anybody that doesn't realize that. Musk responded, this illustrates why the term homeless is misleading. The vast majority of those on the streets are there due to severe drug addiction and or mental illness. The issue is not that they got a little behind in their mortgage payments and would be back on their feet if someone just offered them a job. Right? He's right. Roughly maybe a third of people that end up homeless are temporarily homeless and try to get the hell back into some sort of residence. About 2/3 of them are, because of drug addiction and or just very mentally ill. What do you do at that point? Now, a lot of people do, I think, blame kind of Reagan. They shut down a lot of those facilities back during his term. I don't know why Nancy Reagan, I believe, got credit for some of that, and I'm not trying to besmirch at all. It's just interesting that it seemed like that was kind of a time when that was they were shutting down a lot of these facilities. All said, they were trying to get hundreds of people protesting in New York City because of course, Daniel Penny's acquittal, right? Crazy nut job. This dude protects other people from crazy nut job, and now they want to start riots. Now, I don't think they got in much going on last night. Sounds like hundreds showed. I don't know how many that is. I'm not going to play any of it because, frankly, I don't care what they think. But they were trying to make noise and didn't work too well. Luigi Mangione, the man arrested in connection with the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. We got a little more info on him. His preliminary arraignment happened, I guess, in Pennsylvania at 6 p.m. I believe this was last night. Mangione will appear in person. Maybe this today. What's the date on this? Last night. And Hollidaysburg is a borough in Pennsylvania about 7 miles south of Altoona. I didn't realize they had boroughs in I thought that was like a New York thing. How weird. Borough's like a weird, what is it, like a neighborhood kind of, right? Or a city, sort of a city, or I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of weird tax or legal thing that's different between like a city or whatever the hell. I don't know what a borough is exactly. I know they have them in New York. I didn't think they had them in other states. Whatever. That's how stupid I am. Healthcare CEO shooting suspect was Ivy League graduate. Appears to have written the Unabomber online, or loved the dude. I read a lot of his stuff. He was also supposedly very unhappy about some back problems he was having. Apparently had some surgeries, it seems, and ended up with 4 big old screws. They look giant in his back. Some say he was angry about that. There was also some talk that his trip to Hawaii was about trying to get back to healthy, if you will. So we got police released his mugshot. We've got the video showed Mangione wearing a dark sweatshirt, being taken out of a vehicle in handcuffs to the courthouse. Mangione was arrested in Pennsylvania on firearm charges, and then they are going to essentially come up with the murder charge, which they have. They've also, at this time, they didn't realize that the x-ray he was carrying around or whatever is his back. They didn't know if it was his back or not. I'm not sure why they didn't just ask him. Maybe he wasn't being very talkative. Now, oddly, and this is kind of just an aside, New York Attorney General Letitz, I think it was, she was doing this gun buyback program, program. She had to make an asterisk next to the 3D printed gun section or homemade weapons. She initially was paying $25 per. apparently you can print a 3D gun for far less, well, I don't know about far less, but less than $25. So people were printing multiples, taking them down, getting $25 per, going back, buying more components so they could print more guns, go back down and sell more guns to the government. They're all just crap 3D printed guns. So they changed it, and they said, we'll give you $25 for however many you bring. So now it just sounds like you've got to make multiple trips. They got the asterisks. Anyone bringing homemade or 3D printed guns will be paid a total of $25, regardless of how many are turned in. Oh, so maybe that counts if you've turned in multiples, and you are likely giving your name and number when you turn those weapons in as well. But yeah, whatever. Crazy stuff. Luigi Mangione, though, suspect in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, may have spiraled after traumatic back surgery. So we've come to find out these nasty spikes or whatever screws there apparently are were in his back. And it looks like his lower back, and really looks like he's got a protruded butt or something. What's going on with that, buddy? We all sticking your ass out? I don't know. Something seems incorrect there. But yeah, obviously gets a smile from his dad and just his whole family. There is a picture of him on the beach with his sister, which I assume is this chick. I'm going to be honest, she looks pretty good there. Anyway, so he got arrested. Pretty sure this is the guy. He seems to be admitting to it. He did make some stupid comment when they pulled him out of the jail. Was this it? Or was this... this might be it. I thought I played this maybe. Let's see.
Jessica Tisch and NYPD Chief of Detective Joseph Kinney about the investigation. And Commissioner, I'd like to start with you, man.
Okay. I had a video somewhere of him getting out of the police car and he was trying to talk. This might be it next, actually. But yeah, he's this guy was pissed off about the healthcare system being the most expensive and how we're actually ranked 42 in the world for how long our longevity is. This whole thing is strange. Again, maybe this was just some activist that got fired up. That's entirely possible. He certainly had a lot of practice with his firearm. He had a little bit of skill with it. He was very confident and just good technique, had an escape plan. Like, he planned this out really well. It was an intelligent attempt at a horrible crime. And I'm not saying crime should ever be done, but obviously this dude made efforts to pull off a professional hit or a hit on somebody. Got caught, got busted all over the place, made many, many mistakes, which, again, it's very hard to, understand how many cameras are everywhere, but he tried to keep masks on his face. Ended up getting caught at McDonald's. That's what happened. Someone saw him, I guess recognized him, called the cops, and yeah, he was bummed. So now we got his driver's license. Mark Rosario, I guess. So it seems to be a different name, though. Huh, isn't that funny? Oh, this is his fake ID, I see. Okay, this is the fake ID he was using. That's interesting. Supposedly this is the weapon he used. It had to have had some sort of suppressor on it, though, because it was significantly longer in the image. So that's kind of a weird part to me. This also does not look like a 3D printed gun, but that doesn't mean I'm right. Kind of looks, I don't know what it exactly looks like. It sort of looks like my M&P that I got, a little tinny guy, it's able to be concealed. It's not what I got it for. At the time, was the only gun I could buy. It was when Biden was first taking office and guns became a little scarce, especially the ones that we were allowed to use in California. Yes, here's the video I was thinking of where he says something stupid. Again, is he a crazy guy? Is he actually the dude? He seems to be playing the part well, right? Again, is he a patsy? Don't know. I know there's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories that are going to come out around it, and I only call them that because a lot of them are going to be all over the place, right? So some of them are going to be right, some of them are going to be wrong, and we'll see how it all plays out. Trump's new border czar is talking about security and talking about saving lives and just, talking about all the proper stuff. He was on with Dr. Phil Primetime. And I don't know, it was a good little segment, and I think it's just good to get prepared for what's coming, because we're going to have a very unhappy deep state, and that's going to include cartels. It's going to include a lot of things. So, again, be prepared, folks. The hard part's not quite here. I mean, we got through the election. That was a significant hard part. I feel like we got the bump in the night still coming. But that election was a big damn deal. We did really, really well. So just be prepared. Keep caution and just understand, know who's around you, know who you know who you can trust, and we'll get through this. We will get through this.
Well, that was some of the reactions from Democrats across the country. Democratic leaders and immigration advocacy groups are planning a major showdown against President-elect Donald Trump's proposed mass deportation plan, shaping up to be one heck of a battle that Trump's new border czar, Tom Homan, says he's ready for it. What happens January 21st? Where do you start?
Well, there's three rails we'll start the first day. Number one, we're going to secure the border. Number two, we're going to run the deportation operation. And number three, I'll look for these 300,000 kids. We'll find them too. President Trump's been clear. We're going to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats first because they pose the most danger to this nation. So day one, we're going to be looking for these public safety threats, arresting them, detaining them, and deporting them. And if these sanctuary city mayors don't want to help, then get the hell out of the way because we're coming. We're doing it.
You say that the left media has it backwards, branding you as the bad guy. How are you the bad guy?
You know, I grew up in a family full of cops. My grandfather's a cop. My dad was a cop. And we're in a situation now where the left thinks those who enforce laws are the bad guys, those who broke the law are the victims. Well, we're going to change that after January 20th.
So we have known criminals here. Did countries such as Venezuela take people out of prison and send them up here and, in fact, refuse to take them back?
Yes. And Venezuela, to this day, they're pushing back on taking return of those criminals. So President Trump already realizes he has to give a mandate to Venezuela saying, you will take these people back or you'll face consequences.
We're talking about some gangs here. This is from Aurora. I've had the Aurora people here. You've been in this building.
Yes.
You've been to this building. You've talked to this resident. The mayor had a statement that contradicted itself within the statement that said there wasn't a problem here. We arrested 6 people there. Well, which was it? Was there a gang problem in this building?
Absolutely. There's a gang problem in that building. In that entire neighborhood, there's a gang problem.
Yeah.
I was there. Put the communities at great risk. But now they got a problem January 20th because my gang's bigger than their gang.
So these guys are probably watching Dr. Phil's Merit TV. So they're going to know that on the 20th, the 21st, there's a whole new set of rules. Are they likely to scatter or are they likely to make a fight of this? What do you expect?
I expect some to scatter. I expect some are going to be a problem. I hope to God I'm wrong. There's going to be some violence. I mean, these are heavily armed people, and I'll pray every day for the men and women of ICE to do a good job, go home safe to their families every day, but we're not walking away from the danger. We can't. We got to make this country safe again. I'm sick and tired of young girls being raped and killed by people not supposed to be here. President Trump is committed to removing these public safety threats. I'm committed to removing them. So regardless where they go, they can run and hide, but we're going to find them, and they're going to be deported.
So putting a stop to these guys is going to be critical. These bad guys, these criminal cartels, there's so much money involved in that. So they are going to fight this every step of the way. Marjorie Taylor Greene claims foreign bomb threat targeted her Georgia home for Palestine. Again, whether this is crap, they traced it to a Russian IP address, which again is just stupid, but maybe. Trying to blame it, Russia. There's a pro-Palestinian message. Just all of this just seems very stupid, very organized, very intentional. They said they put a pipe bomb in her mailbox. Nobody got injured, I guess, and don't believe there was actually a bomb in her mailbox. So, again, these threats are horrible. And, again, this exposes, do we actually have pro-Palestinian people within our own borders? Very likely. Do we have criminal elements within our borders? Yes, for sure. Would they possibly be doing stuff like this? Probably. Would they be threatening people like her because she's been a bulldog that's been fighting against deep state? Yeah, possibly. All these things make sense. Treasury Department announces disbursement of $20 billion loan to benefit Ukraine. It's going to be repaid with proceeds earned from immobilized Russian sovereign assets. I don't know if they've already got the $20 billion of Russian sovereign assets that they've sold or auctioned or whatever they've done. But whatever the case is, they're still trying to give as much money to Ukraine as possible. Now, this is supposed to be to help benefit the rebuilding effort, I believe, in Ukraine. Again, will it be laundered? Of course. If we can get proper people in control, certainly of Ukraine, but also within our own governments, then maybe this money won't be laundered as poorly. If Elon Musk can get better computer systems in government, maybe we will be able to keep better track of what's actually happening. Again, it's just odd that the Treasury is still willing to just dump more money into places that frankly shouldn't be dumping money right now. All said, Eric Trump talking about his confidence in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a trippy thing to me, but I do this for you guys because I know a bunch of you guys have Bitcoin.
I can tell you a lot of eyes were opened when Bitcoin hit 100,000. And I can tell you a hell of a lot more eyes are going to be opened when Bitcoin hits 1 million. And I'm confident it's going to hit 1 million. I think we're all confident in this room that it's going to hit 1 million.
Now, that indicates a few problems. One, obviously, inflation affects the price of Bitcoin, too, because we're talking about the price of it in dollars. So, again, we're comparing it. But it also is just a weird facet to me that if there's a thing that takes us a step closer towards a central bank digital currency, if it ain't Bitcoin, I don't know what is. And I'm not saying Bitcoin is. A lot of people say, oh, it's decentralized, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but there's a fixed number of them. It can be very easily controlled as far as who's doing what with it. It's just this weird, like, I know people say it's just as fake as regular money. I would, I'd still be arguing things like gold and silver, and I get it doesn't make sense to keep a bunch of gold and silver lying around because it's heavy and stuff like that. There's problems from that standpoint, unquestionably. One of the reasons why paper currency is kind of nice because it's lightweight, easy to move around, and easy to give to people. But crypto is one of those things where, like, man, the power goes out, or say I don't have a digital wallet and you're telling me I've got, I'll pay you in Bitcoin, and you're like, I don't need any Bitcoin right now. And you're like, but I got a lot of Bitcoin, man, I'm rich. And you're like, yeah, but Bitcoin doesn't help me right now. Sorry. You got anything real? And that's, again, it's just a weird thing. Don't know. Something physical is far more real than something that's not physical. That's just the thing. And again, just the way my brain's stupidly warped. I think a lot of people have money in crypto. I think it's a great place to be in crypto. I think the price of crypto is going up really, really fast because there's a lot of countries and very wealthy individuals that are putting a bunch of money into it. What's going to be the problem is that false sense of confidence that creates for people. And then when these people pull that money out so they can move it into other currencies or something else, they're actually going to drop the price of Bitcoin significantly in these significant withdrawals. And that's going to create a problem. So who knows? Again, the economy's going through a crap place. I think it's good to be diversified right now. But yeah, crypto is probably going to hit high numbers, huge numbers, in fact. We'll see it happen. I think gold and silver are probably going to hit abnormally high numbers. I mean, it's just right now inflation is killing us. We're going into debt $1 trillion every 100 days, and it's speeding up. So it's not even like, it's probably more like 90 days right now we'll hit $1 trillion again. So this has to stop. Something's got to change quick, or yeah, we're in a tough place. And every time we print $100 trillion for debt, that's $100 trillion or $1 trillion or whatever we print, that actually deflates or erodes the value of the money. Being stuck in their system, the 401k or an IRA, you've been putting that money, your wealth forever into that system. And I personally don't think it's necessarily the safest place in the world right now. Many would suggest protecting your wealth with precious metals. Right now, precious metals are spiking. They're in the middle of a spike, or at least spiking. And we've seen historically these spikes tend to go a bit higher than where we're at, significantly higher for that matter. We're like halfway. Gold is unto itself is just getting so ridiculous. It's only going up. It's never come down. I mean, it's had moments where it's sort of dipped back down, but it's ultimately just gone up historically. We're in a weird place right now. Stock market's questionable. Don't know. Again, my good friends at Goldco, I'm a partner. I'm proud. You're going to help the channel, of course, too. But my good friends at Goldco, they just take care of making sure you can get out of their system tax-free, penalty-free, make sure you can get physical precious metals that you can move your money into. They put it in a trust. They sign all the legal documents, paperwork, everything that has to happen. They do it beautifully. They don't believe all the crazy crap I talk about per se, but I am partnered with one of the best, well, the best, at helping you do this. They're amazing at it. Customer service is bar none. Goldco is significantly awesome. They just are. And you're going to get up to 10% of the face value of your 401k or your IRA, up to 10% of that value in free silver. It's a huge deal that they're offering up. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system before their system gets out of you. A lot of things can happen. Wars happen. Things happen. It's not helping the situation. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. I feel like I should sing it. I want to. .com. Funny picture. Dan Scavino posted this, or truth this out, and it shows Obama looking through a peephole and some white chick hanging out with him. Don't know. She maybe has been drowned at this point. Who knows? But it's funny as they show the round face of Kash Patel outside. Also, what I think is equally funny about that, I don't know if you guys have ever watched Uncle Roger, but every time he ever kind of does a thing where he's like highlighting or showcasing a white person, he always rounds out their face, kind of like what happened here. It just sort of made me laugh on a couple levels. But yeah, we've got Pete Hegseth had a great meeting with Senator Joni Ernst. And so just a brief moment here.
It was a very good meeting with the Senate. The more you spend, I've known her for 10 years. The more we talk, we're reminded of, as two combat veterans, how dedicated we are to defense. She has been dedicated to make the Pentagon work for warfighters for a long time. Had great, extensive conversations about that. Commitment to the process, and we look forward to working together.
Should we say she's a little commissioner? Do you feel confident that you have her that she is working?
Great meeting.
I sure hope I can clean that up post-production. I don't know. We'll see. That might be inaudible, but yeah, supposedly had a really good meeting with her. He's known her for 10 years, blah, blah, blah. A lot of that you couldn't quite make out, that's for sure. Joni Ernst posted, I support Pete through this process. I look forward to a fair hearing. Senator Joni Ernst released a statement. She said, I appreciate Pete Hegseth's responsiveness and respect for the process. Following our encouraging conversation, Pete committed to completing a full audit of the Pentagon and selecting a senior official who will uphold the roles and values of our servicemen and women based on quality and standards, not quotas, and who will prioritize and strengthen my work to prevent sexual assault within the ranks. So very good stuff. Hugely proud. And here's Hegseth, was on Fox News, talking about this smear that they're doing on him. Again, he's just fighting the fight, and he's doing an admirable job, and I want to give the guy his platform to do that.
And that's why, Sean, you know what I look forward to? I look forward to the FBI background check. I look forward to the actual under oath conversations with senators as we go through the process, because, again, this is what the left does, Sean. It's the anatomy of a smear. They take something and then they add anonymous sources and contortions and flat out lies, and then they try you in the media before you can even get into the doors with senators. And this is where I give so much credit to President Trump. He's got a backbone of steel. He never backs down. He called me and said, Pete, you keep fighting. And when he picked me, he said, Pete, it's because I know you can do this. You're going to have to be tough as hell. Stare these folks down and stand up for the change that needs to come to the Defense Department for our men and women in uniform. So if he can endure what he's done, Sean, then I can stick up to this lying press and fight on for the American people and our warfighters. And that's
good stuff. I mean, right? I just love the guy. Love the fact that he's fighting it up. President Trump nominates Harmeet K. Dillon as Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Justice. She's been a stalwart supporter of all this kind of stuff, and she also has some of them check boxes next to her name. So it'll be interesting to see. I think a lot of people are going to be upset with this as a choice, of course, for any myriad of reasons, and some of them will actually be oddly racist. That's the funny part, but we'll see. We'll see what the deep state media presents us. The new Republican majority Senate will confirm all President-elect Donald Trump's nominees, says Senator Tom Cotton. He predicted this on Monday. Cotton's words hold a lot of water. he was elected in November to serve as Senate Republican Conference Chair, the third-ranking post in leadership. His bold pronouncements signal that the conference is ready to move past establishment media-generated controversy and get to work acting on Trump's mandate by installing his picks to deliver his agenda. I expect our Republican Senate is going to confirm all of our President Trump's nominees, Cotton tweeted on Monday. So we look forward to seeing that actually happen in real life. FBI Director Christopher Wray is preparing to resign. He is going to be gone at the inauguration, on or before the inauguration said, so says a source. We'll see. He's suggesting that he does not want to be fired, and obviously if Kash Patel is being chosen as the pick for leading the FBI, that would mean the current leader of the FBI would have to get out of the way. Trump even acknowledged that without saying, are you going to fire him? It's like, well, I mean, he's not done a very good job. And so the person finally asked, well, is it because you put Kash Patel in, then obviously you're going to have to let him go? Well, yeah, if Kash is going to be the FBI director, obviously that's, yeah, like you figured it out. Good job. Good job, reporter. Good job. You're not quite as dumb as you look. That's fantastic. State Department scrambles to scuttle. There's a $100 million censorship network. I'm trying to scuttle this money, trying to get this money shoved off into other locations where they can continue to be annoying, but not have it so blatantly right in front of Trump so he can look into it. But this little group it's a $100 million Global Engagement Center, the GEC, and it was revealed in early 2023. They've been funding a disinformation tracking group which worked to pressure advertisers to demonetize outlets it accuses of spreading disinformation. Except they're really just trying to realign this money. So we'll see. There's a lot of shenanigans happening. I don't know. We'll see. Again, is there a paper trail at all? Like, it's like, well, right, you did this. How does that get locked in? Trump's in charge of his administration. Doesn't matter what the previous administration did. He should have a lot of legal rights to change stuff. So again, what's happening right now is very strange. There's a lot of stuff that's very potentially not even legal. How quickly we're able to move things through the courts, is that their way of trying to slow things down and put a bunch of illegal crap in place that could be part of it? Are they being as successful as they were hoping? It seems no, but they're definitely continuing to make efforts. So here's another little $100 million group of people that are sucking off the teat of our tax-paying dollars. I call it a teat, but yeah, tomato, right? L.A. Deputy District Attorney suggests tyrant Trump should be killed. At least it's hard not to read the words that way. I'm not saying that's necessarily what he's saying because I live in California. But what I am saying is, I don't live in L.A. though, that's for sure. But Patrick Frey, Deputy District Attorney at Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, has suggested the American people will have to rise up and kill President-elect Trump. Well, at least he said, quotes, if Donald Trump is going to become a tyrant, the American people will have to examine the option of dealing with him the way a citizenry deals with a tyrant. Now, Thomas Jefferson, of course, famously wrote the tree of liberty must be refreshed with the blood of patriots and tyrants, but that's not exactly what this dude said. But he's hinting at it, obviously. But legally, I mean, from a legal standpoint, and as an attorney, I'm hoping that he actually means we go after them legally if a tyrant is a tyrant. Kind of like what we did with Biden. He tried to do a bunch of stuff, kept trying to give away student loan money, right? We kept suing, and we kept winning. So, yeah, when a tyrant's being a tyrant, you do have legal ways to stop things, right? So, just saying, National Pulse might be spinning this a little, and I have huge respect for National Pulse, but I also don't like sensationalizing stuff unless it's me doing it. Kind of true, sort of. I mean, if I'm making fun, if I'm trying to make a joke at it, that counts in my mind. Axios, Rep. Brian Mast wins Foreign Affairs gavel. I think this is a big deal. Rep. Brian Mast from Florida won the powerful House GOP steering committee's backing Monday to chair the Foreign Affairs Committee next Congress. This dude supposedly is significantly more pro-Trump than anybody else that has, on the Republican side, that's been trying to have this or has had this in the past. He edged out a crowded field of contenders, including Reps Darrell Issa, Joe Wilson, Rep Ann Wagner. So they locked down this gavel. Mass is viewed as a dark horse candidate heading into Monday, but several sources in the room said he impressed steering members with his presentation. Sounds like changes are coming. So he's going to replace Chairman Michael McCall from Texas, who is term limited out of the position. And who knows, like Texas, we got to clean up too. California, so many of these states have all sorts of cancers that have evolved. I think many of us got some of it out in our last election, and I think we've got more to come. Republican wave election year of 2024. One of the few Democratic bright spots was apparently Susan Valdez. A former school board member held her Democratic-leaning Tampa-based state House district. With the victory, Democrats got to keep one of the few established incumbents in the fold of their ever-shrinking Tallahassee minority. But, oddly, as it turns out, Democrats don't get to keep Valdez at all. On Monday, she announced in a post on X that she was switching her party affiliations to Republican. In the upcoming legislative session, Valdez will caucus with the GOP. Quote, "I will not waste my final 2 years in the Florida legislature being ignored in a caucus whose leadership expects me to ignore the needs of my community. I'm tired of being the party of protesting when I got into politics to be the party of progress." Oh, snap. Did she say that? Well, what's funny is even though don't let the Texas hat fool you. He's got a cowboy hat on, y'all, and he's going to be a bit draw. But he was a Democrat until just recently. You watch.
Numbers. Our next guest is a longtime Democrat and top elected official in Laredo who says his party is leaving behind Texans and the values that they hold dear. Judge Tano Tiarina joins us now with a big announcement. Good morning to you, Tano.
Good morning. Good morning to my Fox.
Well, we are
Christmas.
glad you are here. Merry Christmas, Judge. All right, so Judge, why are you a Democrat?
Well, why, that's not really the question. The question should be, I've made a decision after careful thought and prayer and discussions with my family and community. And over the years, I've watched the Democratic Party shift further and further to the left and leaving the values that I hold dear to my heart. I've always been a conservative. And the radicalization of the National Democrats pushed me away a long time ago. And for that reason, I'm proud to announce that today I will be leaving the Democratic Party and joining the Republican Party, and I'm proud of that.
Okay, very good, Judge. So a lot of people in your area might say, well, it's only because Donald Trump won in your area. You're doing this so you can win the next time around. What would you say to them?
Well, people think of others the way one thinks, and I get it. It's just the way it is. But unfortunately, I have a moral compass, and I cannot, answer for anybody or let anybody know what they want to do. But for me, I've been seeing this go so further left. You have we need to have border security. I think it's a little bit more. Oil and gas industry has been, threatened here in South Texas, and then to be able to see everything that's going on from our, the woke movements, from the boys playing in girls sports and whatnot. Hey, listen, it's something that I had to do. Yeah. It's something that's dear to my heart, and I have a moral compass that I need to continue moving forward.
Yeah, that does not fly in South Texas. I used to live in San Antonio. Yeah, no. What's the reason, do you think, that Donald Trump won in your area? Why is it changing in that area? Is it the border?
Absolutely. I think a lot of the people here, first of all, when we look at down here in South Texas, our Democrats really are not the same as national Democrats. We're very conservative for the most part. OK, so I think everybody started to understand and realize what was going on these last 3 to 4 years, to be able to see what's going on through the border and everything like that. Hey, it was as a county judge, it was a huge effect on us, not only financially, but a burden wise to be able to security wise, to secure our borders, too. So I think with Donald Trump and what he's going to do and some of his initiatives, I think it's going to be good.
Well, Judge Tiarina, thank you so much for coming on. Congratulations.
That's all super good. I love it. I love it. And it's so, it's just like my stupid mind. But judge, he's a judge. He's got the cowboy hat and a suit on, right? He should be wearing the black robe and nothing on underneath. Like a kilt, man. That's what these people should be doing. But whatever. No, it's super cool. Super cool. I'm just making fun, obviously. Apparently, Mitch McConnell had a small little tumble and fell after the Senate GOP lunch because you hey, look, everybody's done it, right? You pick up a fork wrong, and it's like, and you set it back down, you go to stand up because you know you need to walk off that weird fork moment, and then you fall and hit your face and get lacerations. He's getting medical attention. He might be, I don't know. Hopefully, I just wonder, it's just funny how karma works. Karma's a funny thing, Mitch. Karma's a funny, funny, funny mistress. Mitch, that's all I can say. Palm Beach is buzzing. Buzzing. Did you hear it? It's probably those drones. It's probably what the fuck it is, frankly. But whatever. They're buzzing about Elon Musk. Apparently, there's this rich celebrity chick that passed away. Sidell Miller? Sometimes why? Miller. Miller, the self-made tycoon behind the beauty brands Ardell and Matrix Essentials. She dropped $42.56 million on this penthouse comprised of 2 apartments in 2019 in Luxay building, the Bristol. Luxay building, yeah, I don't know. The sale at the time broke the record for the most expensive condo in the city. Miller was an early member of the Mar-a-Lago folks, and she ended up passing away in March. So Musk is actually looking at potentially buying this. It's small. I mean, he'll probably have to figure out. I mean, he's got multiple homes, by the way, but this will be his Florida residence while he works with Trump a lot. But it's only 19,000 square feet. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know what I'd do. I'd have to probably sell half my furniture if I had to move into a 19,000 square foot home. So not true, folks. I hope you didn't even think that was true for a second. You shouldn't have. 19,000 square feet, that's big, is what that is. Size does matter in that case. Just saying. Donald Trump showed up to the Army-Navy game. Got a bit of a, well, a lot of people were happy to see him.
How you doing, sir?
We're going this way, guys.
What's up with the little cute capes? Is that so because it's raining or something out there and it keeps your shoulders dry? Those are cute. I don't mean that in any disrespect. It's probably raining, huh? But here's Trump. Here's Trump walking out in the field. Wait, this can't be this game because they all got masks on. You bunch of sissies. Whatever. They sucked me into that for a second. That was wrong. Sorry, people. I'd edit it, but it's not worth it. Here we go, peoples. Donald Trump posted this. Any person or company investing $1 billion or more in the United States of America will receive fully expedited approvals and permits, including, but in no way limited to, all environmental approvals. Get ready to rock. I hope they literally don't just start pumping pollution straight into rivers again. So I pray that's not happening. But there are probably a bunch of stupid bureaucratic approvals that are ridiculous. I'm all about getting rid of those. But you still got to follow the normal laws, I hope. Again, this is going to be one of those things where, like, there's people that are like, you're just trading one enemy for another. It's like, I don't think so. And we're going to hold them to it. I definitely believe we got the right guy in office. Of the choices given, unquestionably got the right guy in office. Prosecutors are urging a judge not to throw out President-elect Donald Trump's hush money criminal conviction, but suggesting a willingness to end the case in a way that would preserve the verdict while avoiding punishment or a protracted legal fight. What they're trying to do is they want it to stay on the books that Trump's a felon, but that he can't appeal. That's what they're trying to figure out how to do. To put it in simple terms, that's what they're trying to do. We'll see what happens. Ultimately, you can't keep something a leeway. Ultimately, you have to do sentencing within 1 year of the actual verdict. The fact that Trump's going to be in office, if they're going to try to sideline it, he might have a way to fight this to where, they have to close it and start a new case or something. I don't know how that works. But again, this is a fun little thing that we're going to be talking about over the next period of time. We'll see how we ultimately move forward. Trump Truth This. It was my pleasure to have dinner the other night with Governor Justin Trudeau. Governor Justin Trudeau is where the thumbnail came from. Trump Truth This. It was a pleasure to have dinner the other night with Governor Justin Trudeau of the great state of Canada. I look forward to seeing the governor again soon so that we may continue our in-depth talks on tariffs and trade, the results of which will be truly spectacular for all. Trump's basically saying, look, if you're going to insist that we have to continue giving you guys money in order for you to make it, then you need to incorporate. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think probably a lot of Canadians would totally be, at least would talk about, well, what's this about? Right, but not Quebec. We'd have to literally rewrite everything in our country in French because of Quebec. So it's almost like I wonder if maybe we just leave Quebec as the rest of Canada, or that's the second state. I don't know. I'm not sure how that's going to be. And then you guys can just work out your French thing all over the place. But Quebec is an interesting province, all said. So I don't know. I get a kick out of it. I'm not trying to offend any of the Canucks that are watching me, though I assume most of the ones that are watching me would probably be like, hell yeah, that'd be awesome. It'd help our country a bunch. Hungary's Orban meets with Trump and Musk. Very good stuff. Just again, he's Musk is running around everywhere. He's obviously getting very, very brought into the big picture for very, very good reasons too. Again, for those that speculate about where the world's going, Musk is going to play a large role in any forward movement. So the fact that he's running around side by side is almost what I would expect. And it does, to me, demonstrate that that is, in fact, kind of where we're heading. We'll see. But one of these days we'll do a show where we'll talk about some of the things that we've played out that have happened, again, if it's happened, God's behind it to a degree. So there's a lot of weird things that have happened that a lot of people, oh my God, this is horrible. But then you've got to ask, why has it happened? It happened. You can say it's horrible. That's fine. Well, never let it happen again. But still happening kind of, but right. Even if we stopped it, it already did something. Technology is one of them. China's been given a lot of technology. Big question is why? It's not, they were stealing it, but I just think it was to get everybody kind of to the same level. Russia already had a pretty significant program, definitely equaling America's in a large extent. China was so far behind, and they're a huge economy, and they needed to catch up. I'm not saying it's okay, and I'm not saying I agree with it. I just think they ended up with the technology. I think a lot of this ties into the three poles, the new polar world, the fact that we're going to have more of a space-based kind of presence, I think. So I believe a lot of stuff's going to be happening. It's going to be very strange. We'll see. A lot of technology is coming forward, though, that I'm sure China's not been given to, because they'd use them probably nefariously. Trump tells Putin to agree to immediate ceasefire in Ukraine after Syria's Assad ousted. This bums me out a little bit, Zero Hedge. Your headline's a lie, and I like Zero Hedge a lot. Respect Zero Hedge a lot. This is the first time that I can recall having Zero Hedge do this. So I don't know if it's Tyler's burden. He's a normal dude, so I don't know what's going on here. It'll get him more clicks, sure, but that's kind of weird. Trump tells Putin to agree to immediate ceasefire in Ukraine after Syria's Assad is ousted. No, he doesn't. He does not tell Putin this. Trump made a statement on Truth. Trump said, Assad is gone. And this is on Truth, by the way. He has fled his country. His protector, Russia, led by Vladimir Putin, the only place his name comes up, led by Russia, led by Vladimir Putin, was not interested in protecting him any longer. There was no reason for Russia to be there in the first place. They lost all interest in Syria because of Ukraine, where close to 600,000 Russian soldiers lay wounded or dead in a war that should never have started and could go on forever. Russia and Iran are in a weakened state right now, one because of Ukraine and a bad economy, the other because of Israel and its fighting success. Likewise, Zelensky and Ukraine would like to make a deal and stop the madness. They have ridiculously lost 400,000 soldiers and many more civilians. There should be an immediate ceasefire and negotiations should begin. Too many lives are being so needlessly wasted, too many families destroyed, and if it keeps going, it can turn into something much bigger and far worse. I know Vladimir well. This will be his ultimate time to act. China can help. The world is watching. Now, there's Vladimir Putin, so I think that's the way he's spelling it, because Volodymyr Zelensky is similar spelling. So, again, he's not telling Putin this. And I think to a large extent, he's kind of like, you know what you need to do, you know what needs to happen. You guys don't need me to do this, and we'll agree with what you do. So again, a little bummed. I think Zero Hedge I feel like they sensationalized the headline. I know it gets you clicks. I get you. I'd have a much bigger channel if I sensationalized. I just refuse to do that. Zelensky lauds Trump's resolve, but rejects territorial concessions and war talks. So he loves the fact that Trump's talking, yeah, we got to definitely stop the fighting. But at the same time, he is like, no, but I'm not letting Russia keep the land they took from us that I can't possibly get back on my own. You must make Putin give it back to us, and then we'll cease fire. But that's not really how this is going to work. So we'll see. Zelensky's doing a lot right now to try to work out deals with the current administration because he knows Trump's not going to play the same game. Now, he says a totally different game, but we can't believe a damn thing he says. He's doing this is money. This is laundering. This is trying to keep him in power, and he's not going to stay in power. Trump's going to not be okay with him staying in power. There's a lot of things that Trump is going to kind of probably say would be good ideas that he's not necessarily saying right now. So again, we'll see how it plays out. Famous words, of course. Brazilian President Lula is in intensive care after emergency brain surgery. So weird. It's like McConnell and him, two people that totally shouldn't be where they're at or having weird problems. It's so strange. But Sao Paulo is where Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is currently hanging out. It's a little ways away from him. It's about 1,000 kilometers from where he's normally at. So he went a long ways to have this surgery that he was having, headaches. Come to find out he had some sort of weird brain hemorrhage, intracranial hemorrhage going on. So yeah, they drained it or something, which is not, anyway. And he's recovering, we would say. He hasn't given a speech of any kind or anything like that, but funny how world works. God's got no problem stepping over other people to make plans happen his way. China blocking drone supplies, crucial to Ukraine as U.S. trade conflict escalates. So now we're blaming China for not giving us stuff so we can give more weapons to Ukraine. Again, how can we stop this war? Well, don't keep giving stuff to the warmongers to keep the war going. If you starve them of things at which they can throw, I mean, sure, I'll run out there and grab rocks and throw them at the other side. That's awesome. That's better. Because frankly, this is not working. Way too many people have died. And if the numbers are even remotely true that Trump was sharing in that particular truth, I mean, that's 400,000 and 600,000. That's 1 million people. 1 million people have died because a bunch of people want to prove that what Russia's bad and that we're good. I mean, like, really? Like, we had to kill 1 million. We had to slaughter 1 million people or injure 1 million people just to demonstrate? I mean, it just, God, it blows my mind that we can't figure out how to get along. It really pisses me off, actually. Makes me want to kill somebody. I'm just kidding. That's stupid, right? Can you imagine that? There's people out there. It'd be funny. Not really. I mean, ironic kind of funny. China's maritime movements around Taiwan are largest in decades. Yeah, they're making a lot of noise, doing a lot of stuff. Taiwan. I think Taipei is the capital of Taiwan, isn't it? They are concerned, to say the least. Let's call it that. China seems like they're, again, making more and more noise, slowly ratcheting up the numbers. So eventually they just do the attack because they finally got sufficient numbers. And every day it's a few more planes and a few more ships. And eventually China's got enough to be able to accomplish what it wants. Or maybe even swaps out a few ships for specific kinds of ships. Who knows? China's got some pretty legit capabilities. They're not real experienced at it, but this is pretty low, close to their borders, and so they could pull this off. China would have a very hard time like having a war outside of ballistic missiles and stuff, but having a war on foreign soil would be tricky unless it was immediately located near it, because they just don't have the ability to transport huge amounts of people easily. It would be tough for them at the moment. That's, of course, changing. Nigel Farage bags billionaire Tory donor. Kind of a big deal for UK, best I can tell. Anyways, Nick Candy says Reform UK represents the future of British politics as he leaves the Conservatives. That's it. It's another group that's kind of leaving. They call it conservative. I think this Tory party or whatever they're talking about was a little more left-leaning than what we would call it. But needless to say, he's hooking up with our boy Nigel Farage, who is, I think, the closest thing to Trump that England's ever going to get. I can almost tell when he's angry and shit. He's almost human. I like it. He's got a bunch of silent words, and when he speaks, I know, silent letters, but I actually know how he feels about things. That's very, very beneficial. That's for sure. I just want to remind you guys, let's do TWC, because frankly, I know they're trying to hit us hard with all the crazy stuff and make us sick, and this bugs me a lot. But TWC, really, I've had this off that long. Damn it. I hate this off the side. I can't see it. It's such a bummer. But twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. Just amazing products. They've got a great supplement line. They've got these spike support formula, which helps get the spikes. And if you've rolled up your sleeve, if you know what I'm talking about, or live with somebody maybe who has, there are some spikes running around. They've probably gotten inside of you too. Who knows? This actual support formula literally helps pull those things out of your system. And they've got a whole lot of other really amazing supplements that I highly recommend. The kits are one of the things that I think are super important. The Contagion kit primarily, but they've got a few kits that are amazing, and we've talked about them. But this one's got all the stuff that's for the antiviral, or possibly, I mean, we've talked about some stuff. A lot of people think that parasites might be involved in some other things in our lives, right? Like antivirals are sort of they are anti-parasitic. Again, you're getting a prescription. This is all legal and all everything. It's Dr. McCullough, Dr. Drew Pinsky, and another wonderful doctor all came together and really just put this wonderful kits together and allow you to get this. You got 25 tablets of ivermectin, 20 tablets of hydroxychloroquine, 12 tablets of generic Z-Pak or azithromycin. We've got 10 tablets of Tamiflu, or generic version of it. I've got generic Pulmicort, which is like an upper respiratory, or like if you have asthma, it kind of is one of those things. Now, I know some people are very specific that whether the generic works or doesn't, but this is the generic. And then you get the nebulizer so you can actually do this. But this is an amazing set of stuff, medicines, that can help you if you get any sort of crazy thing that pops up in our coming days, right? Like, you know, they're talking about some sort of H5N1 or whatever, right? Like they want so badly to get some sort of virus running around. And who knows if they're going to be able to do that. The thing that's awesome about having this is if they do, if they're capable, if some reason we got to mask up again, which we should never have to do, you have this to make sure that you're going to get over the sickness very quickly. This helps. It's amazing. My experience with ivermectin was amazing. The first time I got COVID, I took ivermectin literally within 48 hours total time. I went from literally like the way the sickness happened. I went from feeling like, oh man, I don't think I'm good, to extraordinarily sick, and then all the way back to, oh man, I'm starting to come out of this. And literally that was about 48-hour period. And I took not a lot. I probably took 3 ivermectins a day. It wasn't even that much. But it helped a bunch. Just powerful it was for me. This is why I think it's an amazing kit. You're doing it legally, legitimately, in every way, shape, and form. So go to twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. You got first aid kits. You've got travel kits. There's some really, really good kits and some amazing supplements. They've got healthy living products in there. They've really got a whole bunch. I just fixate on these med kits for some reason, but they've got an amazing amount of other stuff. Seriously, go to twc.health/OTF. You thinking of getting off pain meds? They've got ways to help you start looking at possibly doing that. Somewhere in here. Manage my prescriptions. There's resources. Somewhere in here. I swear to God, there used to be anyways. Might be under the healthy living stuff. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, this field emergency kit's crazy too. $1,100. That's out of control. Cool numbers though. All said, go to twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. Just prepare yourself for what we know they're essentially trying to throw at us. And they can't hurt you if you're ready and you're empowered and you know you're going to protect yourself. You're going to be fine. Judicial Watch has some major lawsuits going on all over the place, but one in particular with Fani Willis, and she's still hiding records of communications with the January 6th committee. Also denies the existence of any Jack Smith records, which I think is one thing I've always complained about with these things is how do we know that they're honest when they say, oh, this is everything I found that you were asking for? It's like, how do I know that? I don't trust you already. Why would I trust you to tell me that you've given me everything I've asked for? You probably haven't. You're untrustworthy. Why would you tell me the truth? Whatever the case is, Judicial Watch and a state court forced Fani Willis to confirm additional documents exist about her collusion with the partisan Pelosi January 6th committee to get Trump. Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said, but Willis, citing legal exemptions for a prosecution that's essentially dead in the water, now wants to hide these records from the American public. Judicial Watch plans to push back in court against this disingenuous secrecy. Judicial Watch is assisted in this case by John Monroe of John Monroe Law in Georgia. Judicial Watch has several Freedom of Information Act lawsuits related to prosecutorial abuse regarding Trump. In February 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice asked a federal court to allow the agency to keep secret the names of top staffers working in Special Counsel Jack Smith's office that is targeting former President Trump and other Americans. Before his appointment to investigate and prosecute Trump, Special Counsel Jack Smith previously was at the center of several controversial issues, the IRS scandal among them. In 2014, a Judicial Watch investigation revealed that top IRS officials had been in communication with Jack Smith's then Public Integrity section about a plan to launch criminal investigations into conservative tax-exempt groups. In January 2024, Judicial Watch filed lawsuits against Fulton County, Georgia, for records regarding their hiring of Nathan Wade as a special prosecutor by District Attorney Fani Willis. Wade was hired to pursue unprecedented criminal investigations and prosecutions against former President Trump and others over the 2020 election disputes. In October of 2023, Judicial Watch sued the DOJ for records and communications between the Office of U.S. Special Counsel Jack Smith and the Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney's Office regarding requests, receipt of federal funding assistance in the investigation of former President Trump and his 18 co-defendants in the Fulton County indictments of August 14th, 2023. To date, the DOJ is refusing to confirm or deny the existence of records, claiming to do so would interfere with enforcement proceedings. Judicial Watch litigation challenges this is continuing. And through the New York Freedom of Information law in July of 2023, Judicial Watch received the engagement letter showing New York County District Attorney Alvin Bragg paid $900 per hour for partners and $500 per hour for associates to the Gibson, Dunn, and Crutcher law firm for the purpose of suing Rep. Jim Jordan in an effort to shut down the House Judiciary Committee oversight investigation into Bragg's unprecedented indictment of former President Donald Trump. The Judicial Watch has been very involved and continues to be so. It's pretty awesome. New York Attorney General Letitia James says she won't drop civil fraud case against Trump. She says the civil fraud case doesn't matter if he's president or not. That doesn't give him immunity, so she's going to continue to go after him. This is probably not going to work out real good for her in the big picture. I'm sure life can have pressures turned around. Funny how things work sometimes in life when you continue to go against the grain. We'll see what continues to happen. I don't think she's going to have a lot of legal standing to go too far. Top Democrat on Ethics Committee outed as leaker of the Gates report. Very funny. Susan Wild, she's a rep. She's the top Democrat on the House Ethics Committee. House Ethics Committee has been outed as the leaker of the Matt Gaetz report. The top Democrat of the Ethics Committee leaked information she should not have leaked. That doesn't sound very ethical to me, does it? Is it just funny that they're in the House Ethics Committee and that's not really what you do? Whatever the case is, this chick's in a lot of trouble. She didn't show up to a meeting because I kind of felt like she shouldn't be there because, because she's the top Democrat that has been outed. She was absent from this panel's meeting last week after being traced as the source of the leaks. Dun, dun, dun. It remains unclear if Wild voluntarily skipped the Thursday gathering or was asked not to attend. We'll keep tabs on what happens with her, but that looks really, 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 really bad. That deserves an ethics committee investigation too, doesn't it? Attorney General Ken Paxton, major victory going on. We have secured a preliminary injunction and nationwide stay stopping the Biden administration's illegal attempt to grant nearly 147,000 DACA recipients publicly funded health insurance coverage. The court cited Texas's numerous wins against the DACA program as a basis for granting the injunction and stay. Today, we prevented yet another attempt by the Biden administration to spend our hard-earned tax dollars on radically unpopular policies that put illegal aliens ahead of American citizens. They really do that a lot, don't they, over there? New Yorkers could see inflation refund check next year. Governor Hochul announces that she's, she feels a little bad. We basically stole a little too much of your money, so we're going to give you some of your money back. Now, Hochul's up for re-election in 26, so almost guarantee that Hochul's doing this because, yes, she's up for a re-election in 26, and she's a horrible individual. All of that said, the plan right now is $300 going to single taxpayers making $150,000 or less. It's kind of funny because if you make more than that, didn't you also steal some of my money? Shouldn't I get some of that money back still? Why, if I made more than $150,000, would I not be allowed to? Because that's like poverty in New York. Like if you live in Manhattan and you only make $150,000 a year, you are homeless. There's no way you have like any sort of apartment there. Get out of here. $500 for joint filers making up to $300,000. That's insanity. So, yeah, this is Hochul's big plan to buy votes. And, of course, it is going to the people with less money because they're the ones most likely to vote Democrat, I would assume. But that's actually not really true anymore because people that make the least amount of money are the actual workers. And, well, that's who the Republicans support now, not the Democrats. So, again, we'll see. It's a fun little game we're all playing. Gates is going to join One American News. They said this. That One American News made this announcement. I was like, when I first read this, I'm like, please, this is not true. And I was like, no shit, really? So it sounds like this is true. They got sources, got their insights. Gates said there is such a spirit of optimism to unlock the opportunity of America. So I don't know, maybe there's just too much controversy around Gates with everything that's happened, and he did what he was there to do, and now he can go on with his own professional life. Maybe he'll be the new Trey Gowdy or something, who knows. But, yeah. Rupert Murdoch, this is something that I misunderstood. So he's been at court trying to fight for who would be running the trust, essentially, I guess. But the 3 adult children will retain control over their father's media empire upon his death. So he was trying to take it from, there was 4 children. He was trying to take it away from 3 of them and give sole control to the older son who Murdoch thinks is more like him. This all had to do not with their inheritance, which is what I initially thought it was. Because like if Murdoch wanted to disinherit these children, he legally could do that. It's his trust to do that. So that's what I always thought this was kind of about. But it wasn't. It was just about control of the trust, which if their names are still on it and their, retirement funds are still going to come their way or whatever, their trust money, then they still get a say in it and they can't just give it all. So, yeah, Rupert Murdoch lost this case and his 3 children will continue to have a say in what happens in the trust. Caitlin Clark named the Time Athlete of the Year for the 2024 after record-breaking rookie WNBA season. I love the fact that she's 1, an actual chick, which is so awesome. 2, really good at basketball. This chick's really good at basketball. She's obviously tall, but she's super good. She broke a lot of records. She's, just awesome. Awesome chick. And all the LGBT crowd hates her because 98% of the entire WNBA is gay or something, or transgender even. And she still holds her own against a lot of those peeps. So this chick's awesome. Good on her. I just think it's cool as hell. And yeah, there you go. About the most I can say, I think, possibly. This is a trip. If you guys shop at Walmart, and this just goes on to the RFK Jr. stuff, and this is very, very concerning. Very concerning. So I hope you guys pay attention, especially you, the guys that feed family members or kids. Read the ingredients, especially if you're buying crap at Walmart. This will kind of blow you away. Watch to the end because she kind of talks about some bullshit up front, which is good stuff. And a lot of you are going to be like, trust me, where she goes.
You shop at Walmart, you're about to be really pissed at them, and let me tell you why. They have made some major changes to their canned corn. I'm going to point out 5 of these things, and the 5th one, you might never shop at Walmart again. So here's an older can of corn from my pantry, and we're going to compare the two with this newer can of corn, okay? Number 1, it says that it is picked and grown on the same day. It has this green little "Great for You" label here. Over here it says that it's from Arkansas, has 45 calories. What else is it? Oh, and it's gluten-free. Okay, let's compare that to the second can. Right away, the biggest difference, the second can is a product of Thailand. Looking at the nutritional information, we went from 45 calories to 90 calories. There's more sodium, there's more carbs. Apparently it's no longer picked and packaged on the same day like this one, and it's no longer gluten-free, and it also lost that "Great for You" tag. Let me tell you why. On this new can of corn from Walmart, there's a health warning. Let's read it. Warning, consuming this product can expose you to chemicals, including lead, which are known in the state of California to cause cancer, and birth defects, or other reproductive harm. I guess that's reason enough to lose the "Great for You" symbol that was on this can. So go into your pantry, check out your canned corn. If you're ticked off as much as I am.
Yeah, always pay attention to labels. They know people don't read labels. It's very easy to figure out what's healthy and unhealthy by reading the labels. Standard rule, and this is going to sound stupid, but it's true. I actually use this for the tortillas I get. I tried to make homemade flour tortillas. It's just oddly hard. I got to try again one of these days. But I actually found a package in the refrigerated aisle, and when you look at it, it's literally got 5 ingredients. And it's like wheat, flour, so it's probably got gluten in it, but it's like flour, like sugar, water, salt, and like one other thing. And it's like, there's no preservatives, nothing. It's literally like 5 ingredients. That's awesome. If there's monosodium, blah, blah, blahs, or benzoates, or whatever, right? If you've got all these crazy, like you need a chemical degree to understand it, yeah, you don't want to be putting that in your food or in your body or in your kids' bodies or any of that stuff. None of it. Finally, covering off some of the Diddy crap from the week, or at least from the last 24 hours. Jamie Foxx compares Diddy to the devil as he jokes about poisoning rumors and disgraced rappers flaming baby oil in Netflix special. I'd let you guys watch it on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but they talked about it. He basically does not blame Diddy, just to take the spoiler alert out of it. He talked about how, and this is one of the people, I was wondering who it was that always said it, but he always said he left before 9 o'clock and even made a joke about how everything looked like it was slippery around here. Like, it's kind of funny. But yeah, he didn't claim to be poisoned by Diddy, and he cleared all that up. So kind of a fun thing. And he gets into his health stuff. Again, I like watching it. I hate the fact that you have Netflix, but yeah, it's worth watching probably. I like Jamie Foxx, I guess. Beyonce's mother, this is just weird. I don't know. I hate this stuff where, you liked something. Oh, that must mean all these other things. It's like, I just liked someone's post. I reposted someone's post. What, really? Anywho, Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, liked an Instagram post reporting that son-in-law Jay-Z was accused of gang raping a 13-year-old girl with Diddy. She liked that. So, of course, people are having all sorts of thoughts about it. And again, she's probably tied up in the middle of all this. I mean, whatever. And maybe she hates him. No idea. They could mean any number of things. I'm not even going to bother trying to speculate. How all this plays out, we'll see. Jay-Z definitely seems to be... He seems to be getting to some people kind of like Diddy was trying to do. Maybe. I don't know. There's a lady that's dropping one of her cases trying to, and this Busby guy, this lawyer, is like, well, you can still file it anyways and just do it anonymously, right? So he's still trying to keep the avenue open. So many are saying that Busby's just trying to make money, which he's handling all the cases, and yeah, he's going to make a bunch of money. So I don't disagree with what they're criticizing him of doing, but at the same time, it does seem like it would make more sense to have one dude that's just going to be like an expert on going after Diddy, whatever that case is. I mean, but there's a lady that wanted to get out, maybe because someone got to her or offered her some money, or who knows. And so weird stuff happening. And that's why a lot of people didn't want to let Diddy out of prison. I'm wondering if Jay-Z's sort of doing his work for him. Don't really know. Again, it's just a lot of speculation here. I assume this will eventually find its way through the courts in some way, shape, or form. And it will probably frighten many, surprise everybody, and will be a big, big day for us to finally move forward and start making a change, especially people that have children in the entertainment industry. Oh, gross. All said, a lot happening. We're making a difference, folks. Keep rippling. Keep paying attention to the direction we're heading, not so much all the crazy stuff that they're saying. They want you distracted in that. They want you to think, oh, what'd you say? And then go walking off in a wrong direction. No, keep heading forward. Keep moving forward. We're making progress. Don't get hung up in the weeds. I love you guys. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.